Hi guys, welcome to Scraplift Saturday. This is the inspiration piece for the week, and today I am scrap lifting Missy Whidden, and this is the picture or the scrapbook page that I am going to be scrap lifting. And unfortunately I didn't really use a whole lot from the inspiration piece, or really much at all. I've been really wanting to do this layout of Missy's or scrap lift it because I just think it's so gorgeous, and I just really wanted to kind of keep with the same colors and things like that. So I didn't really take anything from the inspiration piece this week, but I definitely did the scrap lift for Saturday. But anyway, this is a layout that Missy did for the Hip Kit Club. And what I am doing is taking a Pebbles collection that I've had in my stash for quite some time that I got from, I believe, Crafty Steels, and I'm kind of just mimicking what she had. So I'm using Broken China Distress Paint, and I have that Dilutions, yellow Dilutions, but I'm going to end up using Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine instead, but you'll see that a little bit later. So now I'm just going to be taking some modeling paste, and I smeared that all over the background already, and I'm taking the distress paint and kind of smushing that all over. I want to get some of the same color blues that Missy had in her layout, and so I just dabbed the distress paint all over, and then I'm using my water brush and squeezing out water and mushing it around until I get it kind of the look that I want it. And I want it to be messy, I don't want it to be all perfect, so I'm just going to keep playing with this until I get it to the way I want it to be. And then I'm going to dry it up, and now I'm using my Derwent Inktense Pencils to add some more darker colors in certain places, just to give it a little bit more depth and dimension. And this is something that Missy does on her layouts a lot too, and I've been wanting to try this, and I really like how it turned out. I probably did a lot more playing than she does, I'm not quite sure, but I added a lot here and there, and I used my water brush. These Inktense pencils are really cool because you add water to them and they activate, so you can kind of smush them around the page. You can also draw them on another piece of paper or another item, and then you can take and transfer the color from one place to another. So I'm going to keep playing with this. I'm going to be layering different things on top of each other. I'm going to use the color pencil, then I'm going to come back in with some of the distress paint again and just keep layering it until I get the look that I like. And then I'm also going to even take my water brush to the pencil itself and do some splatters and add some more on too. So that's kind of how this whole process is going to be working, just layering little bits on top of little bits until I get the look that I want. And I just keep putting that picture there to make sure that the color is going where I want it to. And I tried this pink because I thought I was going to bring a little bit of pink in, but I didn't like how it looked. That's why I did it behind the picture. I wanted to see if I'd like it before I did it, and I just didn't really like how it was coming out. So now I'm just taking my dauber and smearing more down on top of the pencil, and then I'm taking my water brush and just adding a little bit more water to smear it around. And now my paint's wet, so the dauber, or not the dauber, but the pencil's not working as well. So I'm going to end up just taking the tip of my water brush to the pencil, doing a little bit of splatters and kind of taking it around in different places and just mushing it around. Again, just working with it until I get the color I want. And that's another thing I like about these pencils. You can just take your water brush directly to the tip of the pencil to get the color on the layout as well. So now that's all dry, I'm going to take my Heidi Swap Color Shine in Mustard, and I'm going to sprinkle that on the background. And then I'm going to dry that up before I put the rest of the stuff down. So those are the papers I'm going to use. I just pulled some out of that Pebbles collection pack. And this is the back of one of those pieces, but I wanted to use this whiter color. So I'm just going to trim out various rectangles of pattern paper just using my scissors. I wanted to kind of have somewhat of an uneven cut. I didn't want anything too fancy, so I'm just using my scissors instead of using my trimmer this time. And a lot of the patterns that are on this paper make it kind of easy to cut in a somewhat straight line, and I'm using the picture as a guide, so that helps too. So I really like this floral paper, so I wanted to have it just peeking ever so slightly between the layers. And then I'm going to cut a couple more narrow strips, and I'm going to end up trying to figure out where I want those on the layout as well. And this paper collection is really cute. I've had it for quite some time and I haven't pulled it out yet, so I'm real excited pulling it out and using it for the first time. It's got some great stickers and things that you're going to see in a little bit, and just some other embellishments and stuff that are really fun. So now I'm going to be futzing around a little bit with this, trying to figure out how I want my layers to look, how I want everything to lay. And then once I kind of get everything the way I want it, I'm actually going to use a trick that I also see Missy doing quite often, is stapling the layers. And then that way you just can kind of keep them where they are and you staple them in place and then they don't move, and then you can add some additional adhesive to the back. And I'm going to keep that orange strip just on the top. You're going to see in a little bit here. And I'm just going to use that tiny attacher stapler right there, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive for this little strip of blue paper, and then also some adhesive for the orange strip. And I'm just using just using my HTG gun. And now I got this really kind of cool, kind of iridescent looking tissue paper, and I wanted to back the photo with the tissue paper. And again, this is something else that I'm kind of mimicking from Missy. I really like how she uses the tissue paper as a different layer and a different texture of her layouts. So I staple that down, and then I add just a little bit more adhesive to try to make sure it all sits. And I didn't like how this edge looked a little too straight, so I'm kind of just ripping little pieces off of it to get a little bit more of a torn edge and to trim it down just ever so slightly. And then what I think I'm going to do is put some pop dots on here so that it lifts up and I don't smash that tissue paper too much. And those are just Stampin' Up! Dimensional Stampin' Up! Dimensional adhesive. Now I'm going to go through the embellishments that I have in the kit, and I thought I might use some of these tags, but I decided against it. I'm just going to pull out these sticker sheets, and I'm going to show you a close-up so you can see this collection. Like I said, it's from Pebbles. I'm not sure if the sticker sheets have the collection name on them or not, but you can kind of get a good idea of what they are from looking at the sticker sheets, and kind of you get a sense of what the pages and papers and things like that look like. So now I am going to glue down my photo, and then I'm going to add the Love This banner, or Love You banner, down to the bottom kind of left. And I'm going to end up having to glue a lot of these down because the mixed media and the texture of the background cardstock didn't really allow the stickers to stick all that well. So I'll end up using my quick dry adhesive in a little bit. Now I'm taking some gold thread. Again, another Missy trick that she puts on almost all, if not all, of her layouts. And I really like the texture it gives, and I've been wanting to do this a lot too. So I'm glad to be using this. I always forget about it while I'm doing my layouts. Every time I want to use it, I just don't think about it. So this is a perfect opportunity to use it. And so I'm just kind of taking the thread, and she always talks about how the gold thread's a little unruly, and she's totally right. I was having all kinds of trouble. It didn't want to do what I wanted to do, so I finally just kind of scrunched it all up and shoved it under the layers, and it worked out okay. Now I'm just putting several different stickers from the kit, and this arrow I'm going to put down, but I'm going to end up taking it up. I didn't like how it looked there. Thinking back, it would have been nice to have that there if it didn't have the words on it, because it would have been a nice anchoring piece for my title, but I end up pulling it off. Now that little bird, I didn't even realize the bird was in the kit, but Missy had one of these little birdies on the end of the sticker or piece of paper or what have you that was under the one layer, and I thought it was perfect because it matched perfectly, so I added a little birdie hanging on the end of that word that says best day ever. I added an Instagram camera and a little flower over on the left and another flower bunch on the right. And now I'm going to start gluing things down so that my string and my pictures or my stickers and everything stick down. And once I get this done, I am going to, I believe, start working on the title. Let's see, I can't quite remember. Yes. I'm going to start working on the title, and I'm going to try these thickers first, but then I'm going to actually move to the brown ones and then use the floral ones as a second word. And I wanted to have some kind of anchor here, or I wanted to use those floral thickers, but it was matching too much of the little floral paper that I used in one of my layers. So I'm trying this like paper, weird kind of tape-like stuff that came in the collection. It doesn't have a sticky back or anything like that. It's just kind of a paper, kind of the shiny surface to it, but I end up not using any of it. I keep playing with it for quite some time trying to get it to work, but it just isn't going to work. So I'm just going to use that little blue piece of paper that's anchoring, but I'm going to use the brown font first. The second word will be with the floral font, and then my larger word will be with this glitter thickers that did not come in the kit, that were just in my stash. So the title is going to say "You Were Glowing," because the picture of my daughter, she just looks like she's glowing with the sunlight hitting her hair and things like that. I just thought she looked really pretty in this picture. So that is my title. And now I thought I need a little bit more of this string to give it some more texture kind of on the bottom there. And I'm going to stick that down and glue it down with my quick dry. And then next I'm going to move on to the journaling, and I'm going to put the journaling right underneath the word glowing once I get all these thickers glued down. Excuse me. And I'm going to use my white jelly roller to put my journaling down. And sorry for my big schnoz in the way. I edited most of this out so you didn't have to keep seeing my big nose and my glasses. And that is the end of the journaling. I'm just going to underline all of it. And then I'm going to add some hearts around the layout. I thought I wanted to get a little more of that white around, so I'm just doodling a few hearts here and there around the layout. And then I'm going to go to my sewing machine and I'm going to put some sewing down using that same gold thread. So you can see there I have sewing and then over there on the banner and underneath my journaling like Missy had in her layout, and then by that bird. And then to top it all off, I am going to add down some enamel dots. And I think that's pretty much going to call it quits on this one. So if you guys enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to join us and make a layout that's similar to this or scraplift another layout, come join us on our Facebook group and show us what you put together. If you have any questions about me or my channel, please leave them below, or you can go onto my channel at Froggie251. All the information is below to all my social media accounts. Thank you guys so much. I hope you had a good time, and I would love to hear from you. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.